Imagine opening your door to find cops glaring at you. All because your nosy neighbor decided your backyard oasis was community property, and she was ready to drag you to hell over it. But what if that pushy HOA queen's iron fist turned out to be made of glass? Shattering spectacularly when one quiet guy decided enough was enough. Mark Thompson had always been the invisible type in Willow Creek Estates. A cookie-cutter suburb outside Seattle where white picket fences hid a pressure cooker of petty tyrants. He'd bought his modest ranch-style house 5 years back. After a messy divorce left him scraping by as a freelance IT consultant. The place wasn't fancy, but it had a decent yard. And Mark poured his weekends into building a small above-ground pool, not for parties or show, but for solitary laps to drown out the echoes of his ex's accusations that he'd been the one cheating. Rumors she'd spread like wildfire through their old circle. He kept his head down, waved politely at dog walkers, and ignored the whispers that followed him like shadows. That guy's shady. Probably hiding something. Mark heard them all. But he didn't bite back. Instead, he observed, filing away the neighborhood's rhythms, the way Mrs. Evelyn Hargrove, the HOA president, patrolled like a self-appointed sheriff. Her smile as fake as her highlights. Evelyn wasn't just any busybody, she was the queen bee of Willow Creek. A retired accountant who'd clawed her way to the top of the HOA board by preaching community harmony while enforcing rules that squeezed the joy out of living. We must maintain standards, she'd coo at meetings, her voice dripping with faux concern. But everyone knew it was code for do as I say or pay. She fined folks for grass 2 inches too tall, banned holiday lights after December 26th, and once threatened to lien a house over a non-conforming mailbox. Outwardly, she was all pearls and politeness. But cross her, and she'd weaponize gossip, turning neighbors against each other with whispers of non-compliance that sounded like moral failings. Mark had steered clear until the day she zeroed in on his pool. It started innocently enough, or so it seemed. Mark was skimming leaves from the water one crisp Saturday morning when Evelyn's heels clicked up his driveway. She wore her signature blazer, clipboard clutched like a scepter. Her lips pursed in that way that screamed judgment before she even spoke. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson," she said, her tone sweet as saccharin. "I've had reports about this installation. It's quite the eyesore, isn't it? But more importantly, under HOA bylaws, all water features must be accessible for community maintenance checks." Mark paused, net in hand, water dripping onto the concrete. He knew his lot predated the HOA's expansion. He'd double-checked the deed when he bought it. "Morning, Evelyn. This pool's on my private property. No HOA jurisdiction here." Her eyes narrowed behind her designer glasses, but she kept that plastered smile. "Oh, dear. That's a common misconception. We've updated the covenants to include legacy lots like yours, for the greater good. You understand. Safety first." Mark felt a flicker of irritation but kept his voice even. "Appreciate the concern. But I've got the original surveys. It's not part of your map." She chuckled, a sound like nails on chalkboard wrapped in velvet. "Surveys can be so outdated. Let's not make this adversarial. Think of the children who could benefit from a dip on hot days." Mark just nodded politely and went back to skimming. But as she clicked away, he caught her muttering under her breath, "Selfish types like him are why communities fall apart." By Monday, the first violation notice arrived in his mailbox, printed on official-looking letterhead with Evelyn's looping signature at the bottom. "Unauthorized aquatic structure obstructing communal aesthetics. Fine, $75 daily until remedied." Mark stared at it over his coffee, a dark laugh bubbling up. Remedied? It was like she'd declared war on his right to float in peace. He tossed it in a drawer. But that night, the neighborhood Facebook group lit up. Evelyn had posted, "Reminder, shared amenities foster unity. Private hoarding breeds discord. Let's keep Willow Creek welcoming." Comments rolled in, some supportive, others questioning, but then came the anonymous tip-offs. "Heard that guy's got a shady past. Probably doesn't want inspections for a reason." Mark recognized Evelyn's handiwork. She'd always been a master at planting seeds of doubt. He didn't respond online. Instead, he started a quiet log, dates, screenshots, even a quick photo of a notice. Patience, he reminded himself, was his edge. She thrived on reactions, and he wouldn't give her one. The whispers grew louder over the next week. At the grocery store, a neighbor averted her eyes. At the park, kids' moms clucked about that pool guy with the rumors. Mark endured it, biting back the urge to snap that the only shady thing was his ex's lies, now recycled by Evelyn to isolate him. Then came the knock, Evelyn again. This time with 2 board members in tow, looking like reluctant henchmen. "We're here for a courtesy inspection," she announced, stepping toward his backyard gate as if invited. Mark blocked her path casually, arms crossed. Courtesy implies permission. "Evelyn, you don't have it." Her face flushed, but she recovered with a pious sigh. "Mr. Thompson, this isn't personal. It's about upholding standards, preventing accidents, ensuring equity. Imagine if everyone walled off their yards, we'd have chaos." One board member, a nervous guy named Phil, shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe we should verify the boundaries first." Evelyn shot him a withering look. "Phil, dear, boundaries are what I say they are, for the community's sake." Mark couldn't help a small, ironic smile. "Equity? Like how you find the Ramirez family for their kid's lemonade stand last summer. Real harmonious." She bristled, her voice sharpening. "That was unlicensed commerce. Rules protect us all." Mark just shrugged. "Protect yourself off my lawn." As they left, Evelyn hissed to her entourage, loud enough for him to hear. "He's hiding something, mark my words. Troublemakers like him drag everyone down." The fines escalated like a bad joke, $150. Then $300. With letters threatening liens and enforced access. Mark's inbox filled with her emails, each more pompous than the last. "Non-compliance erodes our moral fabric. Submit to audit or face escalation." He replied once, attaching his deed, "Fabric's fine on my side." That set her off. The group chat exploded again. "Beware isolationists who flout unity, safety inspections are non-negotiable." Rumors amped up. Now he was potentially running an illegal operation from his home. Mark felt the sting, the isolation biting deeper. But he channeled it into research. Late nights poring over county records. He uncovered a gem. Evelyn's updated covenants were never ratified properly. She'd pushed them through with questionable votes, including proxies from absent owners. He printed it all, adding to his growing file. Meanwhile, Evelyn paraded her authority, hosting a community forum where she lamented rogue elements undermining our paradise, her voice quivering with feigned emotion while eyeing Mark's house across the green. One afternoon, Mark was grilling burgers when he heard the gate rattle. Peeking over, he saw Evelyn fumbling with the latch, a tape measure in hand. "What the hell?" he called out. She jumped, then straightened with indignant poise. "Just verifying dimensions for compliance. Your secrecy is suspicious." "You know." Mark strode over, phone recording discreetly. Suspicious? Like trespassing on private land? She waved him off. This is proactive governance. If you're innocent, why hide? Her confidence was absurd. Like a peacock strutting in a hurricane. Mark leaned in. Voice low and mocking. Hide? From what? Your tape measure tyranny? She huffed. Retreating. But not before snapping. You'll regret defying order, people like you always do. That night, a city inspector showed up. Tipped off by an anonymous concern about unsafe water hazards. Mark let him in. Watching as the guy nodded approvingly. Solid build. Man. Whoever called this in must be bored. As he left, he whispered. Watch your back, HOAs like yours breed vendettas. Evelyn's fear of losing her grip turned her antics comical in their desperation. She started patrols, binoculars in hand from her porch. Noting suspicious splashes in her logs. Mark caught her once. Waving mockingly from the water. The fines hit $1,000. With a letter claiming eminent domain for communal benefit, pure fiction. But her hubris shone through. In the group, she posted polls. Should defiant residents face social sanctions? Vote yes for harmony. Laughable. Yet it swayed some. Turning whispers into outright shuns. Mark's patience frayed. But he struck back subtly, an anonymous tip to the county about HOA irregularities. Backed by his docs. Then came her boldest move, a Community Access Day announcement. Inviting neighbors to reclaim his pool. Mark barricaded the gate. But Evelyn arrived with a locksmith. Crowing. Rules trump locks. As the guy hesitated, Mark emerged. Evidence folder in hand. Try it. And it's breaking and entering. Evelyn's face twisted in rage. You think you're clever? This is my domain. Phil. The board member. Finally muttered. Evelyn. This is over the line. She whirled on him. Traitor. I built this HOA, without me. You'd all be in anarchy. The showdown hit at the next HOA meeting. Packed with curious residents. Evelyn opened with a sermon. Tonight, we address a cancer in our midst, selfish hoarders who mock our values. Mark stood. Calm as ever. And laid out his case, deeds. Maps. Her forged filings exposed side by side. This isn't about pools, it's about abuse. Gasps rippled as he revealed emails showing her pressuring board members. Even embezzling petty cash for enforcement tools. Evelyn sputtered. Lies. He's slandering me to cover his own scandals. But the evidence was ironclad, her signature on a bogus annexation form. Dated suspiciously after his pool went up. Phil chimed in. Voice steady, she threatened my job if I didn't back her. The room turned, neighbors who'd feared her now murmured in outrage. Evelyn's facade cracked, she slammed the table. Shrieking. Ungrateful sheep. I gave you order. As the vote ousted her, she bolted. Face a mask of humiliated fury. Vowing revenge that echoed hollowly down the hall. In the aftermath, Willow Creek exhaled. Fines vanished. Rules relaxed, no more mailbox inquisitions. Mark's pool stayed his sanctuary. And the rumors died as truth spread. Evelyn faced charges for fraud. Her empire reduced to a for sale sign on her lawn. Neighbors approached him sheepishly. One saying, "We let her bully us too long, thanks for showing spine." Mark just nodded. Dipping into his pool that evening. The water cool and untroubled. Peace wasn't just quiet, it was the sweet irony of watching a tyrant topple from her own pedestal. But here's the kicker, was Evelyn the real villain? Or just a product of a system that lets petty power corrupt the everyday? You tell me, true or false? In neighborhoods like this, silence from the good folks is what lets Karens reign. Drop your thoughts below. Did I nail the drama? Or have you got a wilder tale?